is the biggest series in baseball. It's maybe the biggest series we've seen in baseball thus far this year. The undisputed number 1 and number 2 teams in baseball will face off, and the Rangers are one of them.
This is awesome. My first question to you guys, if this series was in Texas, let's say the Rangers, they do have an off day, but the series was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tampa. Do you think the games would be sold out? 1. And then 2, will there even be 20,000 people at these games, like on a nightly basis?
I say yes to the first question and no to the
Would
second.
it be sold out here?
Yeah, like
absolutely.
The way that I think,
yes,
I'm very excited about this. I understand that it's 3 of 162, but I'm just wondering. We're all excited about it. I think the Metroplex and Ranger fans are excited about it, which I would think that it would be really good. I don't know if it'd sell out, but it's going to be crazy that this is awesome. And I don't even know if there's going to be 20,000 people in Tampa watching it.
I agree with you on Tampa. That's a miserable place that doesn't like that baseball club. They're like, hey, look, we're a farm team. They're like, yeah, but we're the best team as a farm team. And they're like, don't care. But I guess, Mike, you've been at this stadium a lot more this year than I have, and you've seen the best teams. Sometimes a lot of their fans are filling up that stadium as well, and so like you just saw, the Cardinals were there. Were there a lot. So Tampa fans aren't traveling there. So the sellout, maybe you're still a few short, but no Tampa fans I think are showing up to this.
True. There's very few Tampa fans like around the country. Yeah. I think that when the Atlanta fans are here, St. Louis fans or Yankee fans or Red Sox fans, I do think it shows how nice of a Metroplex we have. We can complain about things, traffic and, things to do or whatever, right? But all of those people, very few of those Cardinal fans actually came from St. Louis. They actually just live here because they moved here because they're like, you know what? I grew up around St. Louis. Don't think it's the best place to raise a family, or my money isn't, spent the best here. I'm going to move to an area that I think is better and nicer in ways. And I get our weather is up and down. It's about to get miserably hot here in the next probably couple weeks.
Thank God
for about a 2-month period. But I just think that for the Ranger fans, I don't think that people are traveling here. I just think it shows how many people have moved into the Metroplex that you can have that many Braves fans here and that many Cardinals fans. But
probably not that many Tampa fans.
No, but I do think this. I do not like what Mac Engel, I did not read the article. I'm not saying I don't read Mac's stuff or don't, Mac, I like Mac a lot, Mac Engel. But he's like, oh, Ranger fans, they're not showing up. You talked about it for a second the other day. I'm like, man, Boo and I were just sitting there these last 3 games against the Cardinals. We're like, dude, how fun are these games? Like the Ranger fans are into it. The Cardinal fans are into it. And there's a lot of people here. Yes, it's not sold out, but a lot of people are at these games for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night.
I think we said the average was up 3,500, which could equate to almost 300,000 people person increase over last year. And you've seen in the past, the Rangers fans, they need a minute, especially because it's been 6 years since you've done anything. So I still think if they excel all season, you'll see another bump next year.
Yeah, I met some people in a suite last night, Sherman Williams suite, the Paint, not the former running back from Alabama and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But, and I think some of them were like, yeah, you could tell they were Ranger fans, but getting back into being Ranger fans, like getting to learn the guys that are on the team now. Cause they're like, well, they haven't been good in a while and their roster has been flipping over and over and over. So you don't really get to know the guys, and the guys have never really showed out to be that good to actually care about. And so I think there are quite a few Ranger fans that I got to meet yesterday. It was really fun getting to meet them, but that are like, we're getting kind of back into this because this is fun. A lot of people are here cheering and screaming and yelling and winning. And so these guys are going to be all-stars. Like there's all-stars on this team now. Like, there's all-stars on this team,
Yeah, I think this is if you're even a casual Rangers fan getting ready to, like, hey, I'm ready to jump on board with this team. this is your chance to see your team going up against the best in baseball at the moment, the hottest team. So that's where the excitement for me is everybody that's been saying, yeah, but you haven't beaten anybody, or yeah, but you haven't done this. And this is another feather that you could put in your cap this week. I did see a post, Kevin, on Facebook a few moments ago, and it was Rangers fans cheering for the Rangers, and it was an Astros logo behind them going, yeah, but you haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't even won a World Series. And then it goes, stop having fun. And that's what this is. This is fun. This is miserable. We have seen miserable baseball here, Kevin. Miserable baseball! Joey Gallo was supposed to be our savior for this team. There was a man that kept telling me, Joey Gallo and Profar, they're going to be the best you've ever seen in your lives. I know it because I know baseball. It's like, you're a damn liar. And then he turned out to be, he is a damn liar. But that being said, all these things, I was like, oh, can we just get good baseball players? And we have them, and it's fun.
I mean, you're right. Coming off of, we're in the midst of the longest consecutive run of losing seasons in the history of the Texas Rangers. Like, that's a fact, and that sucks. And that's why I'm so excited about this, is you can slice it any way you want it. These are the top two teams. So, for example, ESPN puts out their power rankings today. And I saw a video last night that I was like, oh? And the video was the case for the Rangers at number one. And I thought that was super cool that even if it didn't come to fruition, they're like, this is worth our time.
Because Spencer Howard's back on.
That was not part of their case. That is interesting.
Don't I have a Spencer Howard auto card? Didn't I?
Do.
I do.
You do.
Yes. I can't wait. It was a 101.
Good luck. Whoa. Well, I mean, if it's a 101, you can figure it out.
Esho's back in the building.
Let's go.
Oh
Let's
God.
go.
Don't call that. Don't call him that.
Why?
If we
called Josh Howard J-Ho.
S-Ho.
We call her J-Lo.
You want us to just
see, though, how J-Lo and J-Ho are different, right?
S-Ho.
I like it.
I like S-Ho a lot. You want us to call him Show?
Yes.
Shohei?
I would much prefer that.
Yeah, no dot.
Yeah.
What is... All right. So Tampa, my point, I don't know how we got here.
S-Ho.
My point was Tampa's number one in the ESPN power rankings, and the Rangers are still number two, which is the way it was for MLB, CBS Sports, The Athletic. Bleacher Report had it flipped. They had the Rangers at 1 and the Rays at 2. But if you want to look further to prove this point, which teams have the two best records in baseball? The Rays and the Rangers. The Rangers are second to the Rays. Who has the two biggest leads in their division? The Rays and the Rangers. The Rays have the biggest lead. The Rangers have the second biggest lead. Who has the two best run differentials in baseball? The Rangers and the Rays. The Rangers are 1. The Rays are 2.
You gonna let me guess at any of the? You just keep telling me.
I was
Like,
gonna guess
thought
Oakland.
You're asking.
No,
these
I
questions.
told you there are only two options.
Have you not seen what Oakland's doing lately, though?
They won 2 in a row, man.
And actually, you know what? I think they've won 2 in a row a couple times.
I know.
In the
No
last few
way.
weeks.
They have.
I'm gonna go look real quick.
They have. It's there. Watch out. Thank God we played them early.
But,
we lost to them though early.
Yeah, I know.
but you won most of those games.
We're 4-2 against them.
Okay, that sounds
How did we lose 2?
because you can't stop them. I am looking at this series with a lot of excitement because, to Corey's point and y'all's point, right afterwards, the Rays get to play the A's. So we really need to take advantage of this series, and I think it's going to be super fun. I know the atmosphere might be lagging, but the two best teams in baseball are playing, and you're one of them.
Yeah, and you have a lot of guys who are playing well. You're playing good baseball. I know yesterday you lost. They hit a solo home run in the 8th inning. I think this was getting lost in the end because there were guys that had reached base, whether it was by hit by pitch or a couple of hits. Do you know in the 8th inning with 2 outs, John Gray had faced the minimum? He was facing his 24th batter in the 8th inning with 2 outs. So he had a chance to face the minimum in his 9-inning outing. It ended up being a few more than that, but that's how great he was. But you just look at this too. I'm excited to see Wander Franco play, and I've asked multiple people yesterday, and they said, no, Tampa tells us it is Franco. So if you've been wondering, we say Julio Franco. I've heard people say Franco on MLB Network. It's confusing to me. I'm like, pick it and just stick with it. So I'm sticking with Franco the rest of the way.
Okay.
For Wander, but he's arguably the best shortstop in the game of baseball today. Obviously, there's an argument for Bo Bichette, but you get to see a 22-year-old who is the best defensive shortstop, I think, right now, and then a switch-hitting guy who can really, dominate a game with his bat and his glove. They have other guys. McClanahan, I'm going to be honest, every time his name comes up, I forget about him. I'm like, oh, yeah, that dude in Tampa.
Excellent.
And he might right now be the front runner for the Cy Young. Obviously, you have Evaldi and Gray who are making a push for it. He's going to pitch in this series. Evaldi's going to pitch in this series. Taj Bradley, I believe, is pitching in this series, who's their very young starting pitching prospect.
That is correct.
So there's a lot to look forward to. And then you have the Lowe family, as you have Nate versus Josh.
And their dad, Streaker.
Their dad's name is Streaker?
Yeah, in the Air Force, his nickname or his call sign is Streaker.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm remembering this now. I didn't know his call name, but I
just saw a story on MLB.com where he was talking about call signs and how he always knew one of his lieutenants or whatever was named Hammer. He didn't know his name was like Gary or whatever. And then he was like, his name was Streaker the whole time. So he was like, you didn't really get to pick yours whenever you were in the Air Force. They picked it for you. But in baseball, it seems like guys are trying to pick their own nicknames. I just thought that was a cool story.
And that is a
but
very cool
that's
story.
The Lowe brothers facing off, obviously. You brought that in there.
I wanted to throw this out there. A couple things to consider. I know this is not the way baseball works, but Tampa got out to an incredible 13-0 start. Amazing. Yeah. Since then, 32-19. In that same period of time, the Rangers are 32-16. So they have a better record in that short-term run. If the Rangers win this series, do you look at them and say, right now, in this moment, that's the best team in baseball? Remember, Tampa's 28-6 at home.
Yeah, I don't like doing that.
I get it.
I understand. I feel like you get burned too much in a 162-game season going there. But I'll tell you this, for an opposite approach, because the Rangers haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. I thought the Mavericks had a chance to beat Golden State before that series because they had beat them, I believe, 3 out of 4 times in the regular season, and they looked better than them. I'm like, this is a matchup the Mavericks love. They're better than these guys based off the regular season. And then you got to playoff baseball, and it was totally different, or basketball, and it was totally different. I'm excited about this series. Whether they sweep, get swept, I just don't want to jump off any ledge or climb up on top of a building and say we've done it. Just because there's so much more baseball to play. If this was, let's say, September 9th through the 11th, if I have my dates right, I'd say, hey, this is a lot closer to the end of the season to give you an idea on what a playoff matchup could look like. I think the Rangers and Chris Young are going to be very aggressive at the trade deadline. So right now, Tampa, they don't have a very good bullpen. The Rangers don't have a very good bullpen. I know it's performed a little bit better lately, but I think a key to this series, in winning this series, is how quick can you knock out the starting pitchers for both sides. I think the team that, whether you score 4 runs and knock them out, which is much better, then you up the guy's pitch count, and after 5 innings, he has 93 pitches and they have to take him out. I think whoever's starting pitchers in a positive way can last longer, has a better chance of winning this series, and whoever once you get to this pen, whether it's the Rangers pen or Tampa Bay's pen, you have a much better chance of scoring runs than off the starting pitchers.
Man.
I just want to throw this out regarding the A's. They've won back-to-back games 3 times this year. 3. After the first time they won back-to-back games, they lost 5 in a row. All right?
Okay.
A couple, let's skip ahead 4 games. Then they lose 11 straight.
Oh.
Then they win 2 in a row. Guess what happens after that? They lose 5 in a row. Then they win 2 in a row. So are they destined to lose the next 11 straight?
I don't like that because, like I said, then they're going to face the Rays after this series.
Oh, yeah, so we need them to
I don't want that
4,
to be the case.
Lose 4, win 3. Yeah, no, I see where you're going with that.
I think the Rangers are excited about this for sure. They are excited to play Tampa Bay and see where they stand. So there is a little bit there, but at the same time, I think the players also know there's no way we can get overconfident or forget about the next series. I do think that Cincinnati series, in a weird way, has been good for this team to go, hey, if we don't play good baseball, we will lose to anybody. And by the way, the Reds are getting better. But I think that this series, from our standpoint, we can overhype it and get excited about it because we don't have to play on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday versus, I think, the Angels. I think you have next, because we don't have to worry about our focus getting like, oh, okay, we play the Angels, whatever. I think that the Rangers are going in and they understand the somewhat more importance of this series than just the one that they just played against the Cardinals.
Sure.
At the same time, I think they also know when this series is over on Sunday, win, lose, or draw, we go on and we play another approximately 100 games to finish out this season.